it's very difficult to get everybody out. But you do the best job you can, and you know, I believe they did a phenomenal job doing that today.
There was a person taken into custody last night. Our video cameras got it. How are they tied to this case? Are they facing charges?
Chief, will we
At
have?
this point, I can't answer those questions. There were people that were removed from the house, and it may be that they were victims, but they weren't able to ascertain at the time who was who. So they may have been detained for officer safety at that period of time. We had a extremely terrified victim who initially contacted the Euclid Police Department, and simply, I think in the first call, just said, I need Euclid." And then throughout this, when the officers arrived on scene, she was horrified to even be outside talking to the officers. I think a lot more will come out as we are able to verify certain information about maybe even activities that had happened in the last couple days. But the public did have every reason to be terrified, and so did the law enforcement community. You know, when somebody gets this desperate, and they start thinking like this, they're capable of just about anything. Unfortunately, that type of personality is not pervasive, but it exists. And we have those people. He's not the only person, you know, that out there that will resort to this sort of thing. Thank goodness it's that very rare individual. But those that are willing to do that sort of thing, they're extremely dangerous and very unpredictable. And you asked about agencies, so we're on a multi-jurisdictional tactical team, and there are multiple communities to include us and Shaker on this team. So there are all those communities. We had police departments from Lake County, from other counties asking to assist, and many that showed up that night. We want to thank all the law enforcement in Cuyahoga County who showed up last night at the hospital, and then was able to follow the officer's body over to the coroner's office. We appreciate the coroner's office. I appreciate Hospital. The nursing staff and the staff there was very kind and very compassionate. So it was, it's just a difficult thing. I guess in all this, I don't want to lose the fact that we have a 23-year-old human being. This Jacob, I could count on him every single time to do the right thing, make the right decision. He was kind, he was compassionate. He was also, he's tactically sound. I don't want anybody to think that he wasn't. I was just in service firearms training with him within the last 6 months. So he's very proficient. He can handle those things. But he was a gentle giant. He loved public service. This is somebody who's still in the Army Reserves, who's served his country. Public service meant everything to him. He was kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of a guy. He just loved public service and loved being here. He was that rare find, and I'm devastated, and his family is obviously devastated. And to watch somebody's family who has to, view a body but can't touch the body, and it was just to watch his grandmother, to watch some of the family members was absolutely devastating.
And this is, by the way, Police Memorial Week. So it's a week to honor all of our fallen brothers and sisters. I just came back from Charlotte, where we had a deputy marshal killed and 3 officers. Again, there's a lack of respect for law enforcement, in my opinion. But again, we're going to stand united. We're going to stand strong. We're going to stand together, and we're going to win.
Chief, was he engaged?
Yes, he was engaged. His fiance was there last evening, and I believe the wedding was set for July. And I know that they were very excited about that. So, I mean, he's a young person planning their life. He's somebody who did all the right things in life, juxtaposed against somebody who decided to do all the wrong things in life. And I mean, I don't know, I don't understand how you can have these two extremes. I wish I understood it. I do know that, and I've been vocal before about it, I'm frustrated with the criminal justice system. I'm particularly frustrated here in Cuyahoga County. I understand balance, and I understand equity, I understand all those things. But I also understand law and order, and I respect law and order, and I respect the rule of law, and I think that's been lost here.
You guys have mentioned several times the lack of respect for law enforcement, how your officers are dealing with the unthinkable. How do you lead going forward with the challenges that you described?
Our officers are newer officers. They're coming into law enforcement. I don't think it's ever been a more difficult time, and so few people want to do it anymore. We're all struggling to just get folks who are interested in law enforcement. And how do you lead through it? You show that you support them. You show that you have their backs. You hold them to standards. All those things that need to be done and that are important to leadership. But it is. I mean, I read reports and I watch body cameras and I can't believe. And this is not everybody in the public. I mean, many do support and respect law enforcement. The vast majority of the Euclid community does that. They support and they respect law enforcement. But you have individuals who almost feel like it's their obligation and duty to be confrontational with the police, and almost look for those confrontations, or almost look to be difficult or non-compliant. And so much of what our officers respond to are not, their disturbances or their suspicious activity, and all they're there to do is check, to make sure everything is all right and everybody's safety is confirmed. And then to have somebody who's, that confrontational. Look, our officers are continuing to seize a record number of illegal firearms, illicit firearms, many from those who are teenagers. And literally they're seizing multiple, last year was 200 and some firearms. So they're seizing them at this level, and you understand that they're doing this with very little confrontation. You're not hearing us involved. I mean, they're dealing with dangerous people with firearms, but they have the training, they have the skills, and they have the control over the situation to be able to handle those things. So, it's like a double-edged sword almost. I respect our officers for that, and I think that they're extremely tactically sound, but they're almost getting desensitized to firearms and dealing with firearms and dealing with violence. And in their capacity, they're always trying to balance, de-escalation and community engagement. All those things are important, showing respect for people, and that's extremely important. But they also have to control situations, and they have to be in control of these situations that can turn volatile. So I think that it's a really difficult time, and we're asking these young men and women to do a very difficult thing. To me, it's the most complicated profession I think that exists. So, and it's and they do it with great pride and great skill. At the end of the day, they're imperfect human beings. These aren't robots. These are not machines, these officers. They try to do their best. They're always trying to do the right thing, and those that choose not to, we deal with that. But I want people to understand that. It's just, this isn't, I think there's this perception sometimes by maybe some that, they're this opposing force that are looking for confrontation or looking to, get involved in racial strife or other things. And I just want the public to understand that is not the vast majority of law enforcement. And we've done a lot in law enforcement in this area to diversify our police departments. We've worked on, on community engagement and engaging the public. We have so many different programs, and we're doing all of these things, but yet we're still dealing with all this violence. I can't solve this. The police cannot solve these things. This takes community effort. This takes churches, education. It takes parents. It takes, the whole society. The police department can't fix this. These things are bigger. They're jobs. It's economic issues that drive a lot of this. And I can't fix those. The police can't fix those. So I think we all need to work together and come up with solutions and also support, our public officials and our safety forces.
Okay, thank you. Thank you guys for coming.